Today we're going to talk about uh, escaping the technical mount. It's a very common situation when I'm working for my mount escape. So if I get you underneath me, so here, got the mount. Let's turn so our head's facing. Yep, perfect. And so real simple. Maybe got my hands to post, and then John is either going to try to. Let's just say you try for like an elbow escape on this side. Is I step up and turn behind him. It's going to be very frustrating. This is also really common. It's kind of the go-to, pretty standard go-to if he does like a trap and roll. So let's say you grab this arm, right? You get your angle. You go to bridge me over and step up. If you really commit to that, so let's say you really commit to taking me over, so now I'm like behind you. It's a very bad situation at this point. I got a lot of cool options. Okay, and so just get into that. The technical mount, in a nutshell, is I'm behind sort of on the side of my opponent. My foot is in front of their midsection. My hips are behind their shoulder blade. My knee is under their head, kind of like a knee pillow. And then I want to press forward and clamp in with my heel. So it seems like you might be able to try to do standard mount stuff, but if you try to turn to face me, like try to shrimp away and turn to face me, it's pretty hard. If you try to just like push this like into a half guard, it's pretty hard, right? And you're obviously at this vulnerability of a lot of attacks. I got some chokes, I can just take it back, boom, so on and so forth. Pretty stifling situation. Now, I'm going to go over like one major way to get out of there. I think there's like one very universally effective way to get out of there, but one thing I will note is we've illustrated this premise quite a bit in previous semesters, and I think we've gone over it a little bit in this semester, particularly talking about when they get high mount and then recovering that position, is if I wait for them to settle, then it's going to be much harder to get out than if I just attack their positioning the second they started to change. Meaning that if John is on top of the mount, and he scoots high, and I'm immediately fighting that, versus he scoots high, and now I'm trying to fight it. Like, he's obviously going to oh shit, no, you're not going anywhere. He's going to clamp down, he's going to settle his base. I want to utilize the fact that he's in transition, right? I'm going to attack the transition. The technical mount is no different. Meaning that and we'll go really slow-mo. So the movement that you're going to do is you're going to think about turning to face the windows while you step this foot up and slide that knee behind my head. Does that make sense? So if I were to bridge, that's exactly it. Perfect, right? Pretty cool motion. Pretty good way to deal with people bridging out of your mount. So if we go back. If I can make this happen, so let's say I'm here, and I'm trying to attack, and he goes to it, and I immediately attack that leg. I can get my legs involved in there. At this point, I'm in sort of a waiter sweep situation. We probably shouldn't go that deep into that, but basically I would underhook, and take him over, right? But, not important. Ask me about waiter sweep later. But the point is the difference between I'm going, he makes the transition, and I immediately start scooting and shrimping, versus, say we go back, I'm going, he goes, and then I start trying to scoot. Yep, you see how he wedged that? If you look on the camera, you'll see how he wedged that foot right in there. Now it's like trying to get that foot into a half guard is going to be a motherfucker. Excuse my language. But that's what it's going to be, a motherfucker. So at this point, I have to be cognizant of the fact that I'm in a pretty high-risk situation, right? So let's say you don't have this arm. What I want is to hunch in, everything nice and tight, okay? I want to be very defensive here. If I feel you start trying to get seat belts, I'm fighting that. If you're trying to feed collar grips, I'm fighting that, right? And then, John, just to make an adjustment, just to make it a little bit more accurate, I want you to take your knee and slide it up here. Yep, and then I want you to think about pushing your hips forward and clamping this foot in. Yep, exactly. Almost like you're trying to turn my face over.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you feel that? So now if I try to shrimp, it's...
So I'm basically trying to flatten into the foot.
Almost, yeah. It's like my resistance to that will keep me on my side. Yeah, exactly. Right, so I'm here. So this sucks, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'll give you guys two escapes for this. I'll give you the one that's like the highest percentage, and I'll give you one that's kind of like, well, let's say that's not firing. I got another one. It's a little risky, but let's go for it. So what I'm going to do is I want to create a frame on the inside of this knee. And by the way, this is going to end up your knee's going to end up in a weird angle, so just be mindful of your left leg here, okay? What I want to do is, if I can, maneuver myself around so I can get posture and kind of double palms on the inside of the knee with relatively posted arms. So at this point, if you try to like smush me back in, I should be pretty framed out, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Now, my goal here, right now, his control is this foot clamping in and this knee maintaining upright positioning. I'm going to beat both of those. My goal is to push his knee away while I scoot my hips outward. All we're going to do for this, guys, is you remember when we talked about getting out of the quarter guard where I need to completely reverse my hips? We're going to do that same motion. This is where your knee is going to get put in a weird spot. So I step this foot out long, and I'm going to scoot my hips out. And it tips them right over. Very simple motion. So go back. So again, he's gotten to the technical mount. He's clamping in tight. So it's like I'm not really going to be able to try to shove it right exactly. And there's like no way I'm getting to this half guard. So I'm turning almost like to face him. I'm posting on this knee. And then if I just try to like push him over, it won't work. If I just try to shrimp, it really won't work. It'd be very hard. You could just kind of follow me, right? Exactly. I want to create like a sudden, boom, a rotation to where he tips over. Very similar to what armbar sweep we just did earlier today, in fact. Right? So a pretty simple motion. It's just one of those things. So the motion itself is simple. Just putting it into practice can be kind of difficult. You're already in a pretty, like, compromised position. Right? Yeah. So I'll grab you one more time. So we have that. That's our go-to. Additionally, let's say I'm going for this. I feel like it's not working. You're clamping in tight. You're following me. I don't think it could work. This is where we get into calculated risk. I am going to take this elbow, swim it underneath, and I'm going to ghost escape out the back door. Get the fuck out of there. And hopefully not get caught in a triangle on the way out. Yeah, hopefully not get grabbed on the way out. I'm not telling you you won't. I'm just saying that that is an option. Okay? Do you want to see all that?
I kind of seen pretty good from the top.
See pretty good from the top? Alright, I'll show that last one more time. So again, I'm here in the technical mount. He's got good positioning. Actually, let's go through all three real fast. So we go back to the mount. My first option is I go to do whatever. He goes to the technical mount, and if I react quickly, I can shrimp and gobble it. And actually, for the sake of simplicity, from here, I would just try to tip his knee to the floor and keep shrimping until I can get his knee back down. If his foot stepped up, I'm sort of a suspect position. Once his knee touches back down, I'm okay. But I screwed it up. We got to the technical mount, and I'm just not going to be able to shove that leg into a half guard now. So we go to our highest percentage first escape from here. I'm going to kind of turn to face him and elongate my body so I can post on this knee. I don't want to try to do this from my side because I can't really extend my arms. From here, I'm posting on the knee. This bottom foot steps wide, and then I'm going to scoot my hips out. And you see a very simple tip. I mean, at this point, I'm coming up. You sort of insinuate with the connection. And finally, I'm in the technical mount. He has me smushed down, and I just can't quite elongate. Like maybe he's like every time I try to circle, he follows. Right, exactly. And this is the fight from here. He has me in a sort of like dual exposure situation. If I turn too much this way, I'll give him my back. If I turn too much this way, I'm going back to the mount. He can choke me, he can armbar me, he can Kimura me, he can do all sorts of stuff from here. So I can't really, and he can follow me pretty easy. So while the pushing on the knee and tripping your hips away is a very good escape, it's a very good escape from a position that's really bad for you, and it's a very good escape when they don't do the exact right things to stop you from doing it. It's just the reality of being in this compromise of the spot. So I can't get my hands in here, like my elbows are kind of stuck on the outside. If your elbows are stuck on the outside, it means that your elbows are stuck in basically like a binary situation. They're either going to be all the way out or like all the way in. You see what I'm saying? So he has that technical mount, right? So your knee's a little closer. And I'm trying to scoot, it's not working. So I'm just going to like whip enough to get my arm out, and then I'm going to pendulum my feet in the direction he's facing. So you see like this? Can you see that on the camera, Jim? My feet. Pendulum my feet in the way he's facing, hit him in the back of the thigh, come up, and then at this point we're going to end up in a scramble. So, does that make sense? Yeah? That's part of it. Work it out. 1, 2, 3.